Hey guys, hi and welcome back. My name is Aarzoo Shah. For all of y'all who've come on this series for the first time, welcome here. The reason I started this series was because I was one of those many teenage young girls out there who felt they are not good enough. I remember I was one of those who was really insecure, not only in my relationships but also about the way I looked. I always felt that I was not pretty enough, I wasn't good looking enough. I remember comparing myself to other women out there. Those women range from being my friends to my cousins to sometimes girls on those magazines, on television, in movies. I used to look up to them and feel like, I'm not pretty enough. I just wish I could look as good as they look. But I really wanted to get out of that space because I knew that on the other side there were those women who were really courageous, who were really brave, who had stories of success, hard work, and determination in their life. I wanted to know what was the difference between women who were inspiring millions out there and women like me and a lot of others that I knew who did not even know how to value themselves. I started reaching out to these women. I started asking them for interviews, and I started this series that's called I'm Beautiful from Within. In this series, we have these successful and some of the most incredible women in our country coming out here and sharing with you how they deal with those struggles that you and me and we all deal with, and how they come out of them, how they start becoming comfortable with the way they are, and how they start learning how to value themselves. Our last interview was with India's fastest women racer. Her name is Sneha Sharma. She taught us a lot of things, and I know a lot of you have come out and reached to me and said that you all have learned a lot from her. And believe me, even I have learned a lot from her. Like, one thing that stuck to me even today, and I think that is the biggest takeaway from her interview, that if you really want to go out and achieve something, it's your fire within you, it's your determination, hard work, and the fact that you are never going to give up, which will get you successful and which will help you achieve what you want in your life. Our today's guest is one of those women that I remember I used to look up to while growing up, and I used to feel like maybe I could look like her, maybe I could be like her, maybe I could do everything she was doing in her life. She's an actor who's worked in our industry for last 15 years. She's worked in various television shows. She's worked in various Bollywood movies. She's also a very cool mom, and she's here today to tell us that inner beauty is much more important than anything outside. It's your inner strength, and it's you realizing that you are valuable, not from the outside world, not because you're an actor, but because you're very beautiful from within. Her name is Shruti Seth, but she's still Jia to me from Sharagat. Let's hear it from her.
My first question to you would be, what would inner strength and inner beauty mean for you?
Uh, I think the ability to do whatever it is that your heart desires without seeking any sort of validation from an outsider, I think that comes essentially from inner strength.
Yeah. You're in this profession for so many years now. And in any profession, wherever we go, we always tend to compare ourselves with other people that we come across. And that's one way where we don't value ourselves. And we seek that appreciation from people outside, and we start comparing if someone's good enough. Have you ever been in that space? If yes, how did you come out of it?
I think it's almost human for all of us to want to please, want to be loved. We all seek outside appreciation. And of course, it's happened to me. I've felt competitive, and I've sometimes felt that I'm not good enough, or I haven't done well enough, and someone else is doing better than me. But I think that's all part and parcel of being human. But when it starts to override everything in your life, where you're constantly judging yourself by other people's yardsticks, or constantly looking at other people and their achievements instead of your own, then it becomes problematic. I think it's very good to aspire to compare yourselves to other people with the intention of wanting to do better. There's no harm in that at all, and there must be a strange contentment, of course, that one should feel with their own achievements. And I think it's very important to understand where you need to stop comparing yourself to other people and start comparing yourself to yourself and your achievements and your growth, because that's how you keep moving forward, that's how you keep evolving.
Yeah, you mean that just looking at your own past work and then saying that I want to do better than you've done this.
Absolutely.
When you started acting, whenever we start anything new, it's always that nervousness that comes in, that will I be able to do this or will I be able to do that? And sometimes what happens is we stop ourselves from doing things because we are just nervous. How did you overcome your nervousness when you started acting?
I think I still get nervous when I act. I still feel that I may not be able to, live up to the expectation of my director or my audience or my co-stars. I think that nervousness is nice. It kind of makes you feel alive as an actor, as a performer. But I think what did happen, if I were to think back on the first day in front of the camera to today, after 17 long years, is that I think over a period of time, when you're in a room full of people and there is this inanimate object called a camera pointed at you, over a period of time you kind of start growing accustomed to it, and then it doesn't freak you out so much.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about time, nothing else.
Yeah, just give some time, do it once, twice, thrice, and it gets normal for you.
It just becomes very routine. Like now I don't even notice that there's a camera. It just becomes like a piece of furniture.
You've had a journey even in your personal life. You've come a far way. You're a mom now.
Yes.
And those emotional up and downs that women generally have, how do you manage that? If you were low, like the last time you were low, how do you come out of that zone?
I think a very important way to come out of feeling at a low point in your life is to constantly look at what you have and be grateful for it. And I think that is something that I tend to focus on every time that I feel that I'm feeling like I'm falling short, or my life isn't good enough, or my career is not where it should be. Is I always immediately shift focus onto the things I have, and the things that I have achieved, and I'm constantly giving thanks to the universe for blessing me with all the things that I have. And I feel the things that I'm supposed to get, I'll get to them eventually, and one just has to be patient. And God forbid if you don't end up reaching where you want to go, you just have to accept that as a part and parcel of life as well.
And being grateful is one of the key things that we all need to
I
practice
think
in our
people
life.
just don't say thank you enough. I think we all should be thankful more often. If you look around you on an everyday basis, you'll see enough reasons to be grateful and to understand the privileges that we have, that other people will only think of or know of as mere concepts. They may not even actually get to live that privilege.
Yeah, true.
So yes, giving thanks is the greatest way to get yourself feeling good again.
You're a mom now, and a lot of time after reaching this phase of life, a lot of women think that now it's that day, for me. Now I don't know how to manage both the things. Now I don't know how to do this and that, how to give enough time. How do you manage that phase?
I think for me, a big part of being able to work, manage a house, have friendships, go out and have a holiday, or even watch a film after having Alina is primarily because I have the good fortune of having my parents around me. And I think living close to my mum, dad, and my brother and my chacha, I never felt that I was raising Alina alone. So I know that it's very hard, it's very difficult, and I have huge regard for women who raise children in this city or in other cities single-handedly and manage careers, because I know what it does to me every time I have to leave my daughter and come to shoot. So it's absolutely heart-wrenching. It's terribly, there's this huge amount of guilt that I carry with me, but I think for me it's a lot lesser because I know that she's with my parents and she's being loved and she's being looked after, and that makes my job as a mom and as a pregnant woman very, very easy.
Yeah, true. There are a lot of young girls out there like me, but even I was growing up, that I used to look at TV and I used to feel that, I really want to look like this and I can't look like the way they look. But what I didn't realize at that point, which I realize now, is that I didn't need to look there to know that this is the only definition of beautiful. But there are a lot of teenagers yet who are who are still to go through that phase. What would you say for that?
So like I was saying, that I don't think one can stop people from feeling the way they're meant to at a particular age in their life. Puberty is about insecurity, it is about discovering yourself, it's about finding your feet, finding your place in an adult world, which is very scary. for someone who's just about to sort of step into it. But I think it's very important primarily for parents to give a lot of confidence to their children, which is something I will always be grateful to my mum for, because way before I became an actor, I became an actor very late in life, in fact. She always told me that I need not compare myself to other people, and I was born with certain gifts, I was born with certain flaws, and I must accept them all as a part and parcel of who I am. It's what makes me unique. No one can be like me because of my flaws. No one has the same flaws. No one has the same gifts. And one has to embrace both things with the same amount of grace, I would say. But I do think that with the influx of social media,
it's getting more.
It's a lot more difficult now than it was when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I think the whole concept of beauty, the concept of fashion, the concept of people following you and you wanting to put your life out there, and all of that has become a lot more severe now than it was when I was younger. So I think it's very, very difficult now, and I don't know how one is supposed to solve this big crisis, because I don't think social media is going anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
And there are more and more camera apps that help you take better selfies. So again, I really don't know what one can do about that. I think it's very important for each person individually to understand how they would like to build themselves. Is it only physically? Is that all they want?
True.
Because one can be as pretty as you want. There's enough research, enough science there that can change your entire face, your entire anatomy. But is that who you really want to be, is the question that you want to answer.
Yeah,
how would you want to describe yourself on paper? Would you only have physical attributes, or would you like there to be some substance? Because substance doesn't come from social media, that I can promise you. It does not come from any app, and there's no way to enhance substance from a smartphone. That you have to do on your own.
True.
So I think it's very important for girls and boys, and not just teenagers, of all age groups, to understand how would they like to weigh themselves as people.
Very true.
And that pretty much will give you all the answers you need.
It's not only about focusing on your outer
No,
beauty.
it's not at all about focusing on outer beauty, because there's this thing called evolution, which will make your beauty fade eventually. It's going to happen no matter how many surgeries you get done, no matter how many times you inject your face, no matter how many times you go and get injections to enhance various different parts of your face and your body. It will give way. That's how the human body is designed. It is going to eventually atrophy, and when you see your photographs in your later years, what would you like to see in those pictures? Do you just want to see wrinkles? Do you just want to see a face that used to be beautiful? Or do you want to see the scars and the lines and all the experiences that will show up on your face? And that will, like I said, that will only happen with the choices that you make, and definitely with a fewer selfies. That I can say for sure.
Because it's the only permanent thing is our substance, is who we are. And that will never go away.
Absolutely.
Right. You're in a space where, see, all of us in our lives have faced criticisms at one point or the other. But you all are the people who are more out there and who are more judged and who have more comments on everything they do.
Yes.
But it's always difficult to handle criticism when someone comes and says something back to you. It's very difficult.
Yes.
How do you manage those things?
I have to say I'm lucky, because I have this gift called humor, and I know how to laugh things off, and I know how to find things funny and humorous, and I know how to retort using mirth over anything else, because I think laughing things off just diffuses situations which could otherwise get very ugly. Number two, I particularly don't care about what people think. And I think that itself is a big gift. I really don't care if you like me or not. I'm not looking for your validation. I am not looking for any sort of reassurance from you. If you like me, I will forever be grateful and consider myself very lucky. But if you don't like me, I will live with the same happiness. It will not change anything in my life. Because there are very few people in my life whose opinions I genuinely care about. And thankfully, not many of them are on social media. And as much as I would acknowledge the fact that my career, everything that I am today is because of the love that my fans have given me,
Yes.
and not because of the hatred that people have sent my way. I'm still here, I'm still acting, I'm still in front of cameras because the love that I have received from people has helped build me up as a person a lot more than the hatred that has tried to break me down.
I have to tell you one thing on this note, that I have genuinely loved you all these years.
Thank you.
From GR till now.
Thank you.
Been my
Thank you.
favorite.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. So I think 3 things that women need to do to believe in themselves and to feel truly beautiful is that firstly, you are beautiful, you are unique, and you're flawed. Accept that, and you won't have an insecure moment in your life. And I think the most important thing that I have felt that has contributed a lot to the person that I am today is always focusing on the love that I have received from various quarters in my life. Most importantly from my parents, and of course from my friends, my husband, my daughter, my fans. I've always focused on the love that I receive. If you focus on that, if you're grateful for it, you won't feel the need to ever feel insecure or underconfident ever in your life. So focus on the love. I'm beautiful from within.